So, what does an evening with Paul Goodman involve?
Well, Paul.
As a show.
Oh, as a show. Oh, well, that's different.
Yeah.
So, £58 entry fee, for one thing.
Right.
For starters.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's for rear stalls.
Yeah. I mean, you're up there with the gods. And if you want to be on stage with the gods, or the front row with the gods, or goods, as I like to be called, it's going to cost you much, much more, Paul. I'm thinking lifelong subscription. And look, Matt Berry is not going to be there. I'm sorry, but
you'll advertise it
it's
as
very
being
much
with Matt Berry because you want to find out who the true people are, who's going to leave once they find out that Matt Berry isn't there. So it will be advertised heavily, with Matt Berry, featuring Matt Berry. The Matt Berry Show featuring Paul Goodman. But then there's no Matt Berry, and that's how you really, really separate the wheat from the chaff. Yeah,
the two are going to be completely interchangeable titles, and anyone who leaves is going to be met by somebody who's doing constant karate chops at sort of mid-riff section. So if anybody walks out, it'll just be oof, ah, as they're chopped in the guts by a man of my choosing.
And that's your entry music.
Yeah, and that's my entry music. And then I come in and I chop a few suckers in the gut as well. And as is my right as a performer, as an artist.
Keep your eye in.
Yeah, exactly. Keep my hat in the game, keep myself fresh and tasty. Yeah. And then I get on and I just fucking, it's just racism for hours, mate.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Just can't. They look, the people know what they come to. They pay for what they like, and they get what they want.
They get exactly, except Matt Berry, but they get exactly otherwise what they want, which is a largely racist, old-fashioned comedian with karate chopping action.
Yeah, and that's how I set myself apart from, the Mike Reeds, the Roy Chubby Browns, is the karate chops.
Yeah, and it's good you're keeping your eye in with that, because you, of course, you got your start in the game. You used to do the karate chopping for Dave Spikey.
Yeah, exactly. Dave Spikey's Racism Hour, and they were nobody expected a choppy Levy comedy hour at that in that time, the 80s.
Last thing
when I was born. Yeah. I've been accused of stealing it from Dave Spikey. That text just came in now. Accusing me, just one more accuser. And I say, get in the fucking queue.
It's all Dave Spikey himself. Just this hate campaign against you. And I, for one, am not going to stand for it. But I will stand for this. Our national anthem. Hello and welcome to One Good Thing, the podcast that doesn't know what's going on here, but is having a great time. I'm Paul Danger.
I'm Paul Danger, fuck.
Oh no, shit. We've had control of our own destiny for 6 weeks now, and we watched Space Jam 2.
Yeah, so we really can't be trusted.
No, I mean other things too, but I think we've learned our place. We don't deserve agency, so let's hand over to the lovely people out there who have their own thoughts and feelings and butts about what we should be watching and thinking.
What? I don't believe that for a second.
I believe every part of it, and I also believe that this is Recommendations Month.
Fuck yeah, it is. This one comes from Jenny Sohns, Superfan who's been with us in the game since day one. Since day one, -7. She was here 7 days before we came up with this podcast, just tapping her toes.
She suggested it.
Yeah. In your dreams.
She recruited us. We're her Suicide Squad.
Oh, fuck. Wait, why do they call it Suicide Squad?
Oh, that Amanda Waller. What a character. And another character is Jenny, who has recommended that we spend an evening with Beverly Luff Linn, 2018.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to An Evening with Beverly Luff Linn.
There's an event tomorrow night at the hotel.
An event?
Remember the man in the plaid hat?
Mr. Beverly.
I don't know what this event is, but Lulu's gone missing.
Drive!
Can anybody hear me? I'm trapped under the ice. Who is Beverly Luff Linn?
Crucially, not the 2019. A lot of it contains the same material.
Same cast. It's unbelievable, but just a much sloppier work. It was contract mandated, studio mandated. Nobody wanted to be there. It was an offence to everyone's artistic integrity, including the artistic integrity of surrealist director Jim Hoskins. This is his second feature film, and was very narrowly mostly well received by critics. Very narrowly mostly.
Was it? I had a look, Paul, and it seems like it was very spread across the board.
I think it is literally 3% mostly.
Oh, okay.
If I remember correctly. If my stat that I do have written right in front of me and yet was opening a browser to check, such as my lack of faith in my own ability to prepare.
I appreciate that. It was a miscommunication. I thought you were implying that it was, the narrowly threw me. I thought you were saying that it was like a majority well-reviewed, as in...
Well, it technically is. Look,
yeah, it technically is.
This film was mostly well-received by critics in the same way that Brexit was mostly wanted by the British public.
Okay.
And I think that's the lens through which to watch it. And that is the only
binding
understanding of the word mostly that I'm interested in.
The one that benefits Nigel Farage.
Speaking of Nigel Farage, Katie Walsh at the Los Angeles Times, sorry, Katie, says, at nearly 2 hours, an evening with Beverly Luff Linn grossly overstays its welcome, but the Hail Mary ending proves to be a rather sweet and tender story about love lost and found in the unlikeliest of places.
Sure it does.
Unlikeliest. It's a pretty unlikely place.
It's a pretty unlikely place, a bar.
A bar. No one ever has found love there.
I sure haven't, and I know my kids haven't neither.
Absolutely not. Just peanuts of the blander variety.
Peanuts.
Public, meanwhile, speaking of peanuts, about the same, really. Louis in Love on IMDb said, it's not good, and that's being kind. You don't want to see Louis in Love at his worst.
No, you don't want to see the film Louis in Love either.
No, that was a terrible project undertaken by no one.
That's the main issue as well. You know, when you're making a film, you don't want no one to make it.
You don't want it to not make a film. It's the problem.
Yeah,
and it's actually the problem I have made with each of my feature films.
They don't exist.
It's a crucial mistake, a fundamental mistake. Yeah, just not making the film. It's biggest thing you can get wrong when you're making a film.
No one's ever heard of them. No one's sat down to put them together. No one's written them. No one's been in them.
Nope. It did have a production secretary, though. That was the one thing we did do with each of the films that I've made so far, is we got a production secretary.
Yeah.
And, they did the job as best they could with absolutely no one else involved in the project whatsoever.
And do you know what? They've had an incredible career. I hear now that they're getting coffee for Wally Pfister.
Good Lord. Wonder where he is now. I think after his movie, he just scampered into the woods. And Christopher Nolan does, whenever he's not making a movie, go out to those woods and try and hunt him down.
Yeah.
And he goes to the places that are the most scenically beautiful. That's it. It's every so often he finds a film reel that gives a clue as to where he's last been. And he's trying to piece it together as the location of his erstwhile cinematographer. It's a beautiful thing. And it's one of the films I haven't made.
And you know, it's when you think about the imagery of Christopher Nolan kneeling in the dewy nightgrass, backlit by the moon.
Sort of 18th century explorer.
Yeah, as he searches for the Pfister and then snatches a scampering mouse from the long grass to break its neck and suck on its fluid for sustenance in finding the Pfister.
Yeah,
it's incredible that the funding hasn't been offered yet for a film that hasn't even been written.
Well, that's just one of the many things that we're missing as a result of the Film Council coming to an end. Also, Craig Robinson was in Dolittle. Otherwise, not one of these weirdos has been in an Adam Sandler movie. So.
Wow.
Yeah. Not even not even a three-man.
Was Dolittle an Adam Sandler movie?
Nah.
No.
Too unrelated
I see
to getting an ending of sentence there. It was Craig Robinson at Dolittle, and then I stopped thinking about that immediately and moved into some other reason why none of these weirdos would have been in any of our movies. There was no attempt to connect it to back to the beginning.
Well, that's good because I found it humbling.
You know how Ouroboros is a snake
I
eating
didn't know
itself?
what was going on.
This is just a snake.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, I hate snakes. I don't like snakes at all, Paul. So
yeah.
I'm not a fan of where this is going.
No. And where it is going is to this next sentence that I'm going to say, which is that the film has 53% on Rotten Tomatoes, 54% on Metacritic, and I couldn't find out its budget, but it seems to have only made $23,000 in theaters, so it's probably made more. It's probably cost more than that.
It probably did. Jermaine Clement has a fee of £700.
he don't come cheap or easy.
No.
So you want Jermaine, you got to cough up.
If you want Jermaine, you've got to pay for the Clement.
You got to give him the Clementine. If you're unwilling to do that, well, you might just find yourself at the long end of a movie that didn't get made. So, Paul, you man himself.
Oh, fucking hell. This is going to be a weird one, hey?
What's one thing about An Evening with Beverly Luff Linn that made you want the delicious feeling of jets up your shorts?
The opening, Paul. No, I've done the opening for
Yes.
for many times. For many times.
For many, many times. Let's get back to Clark Kent's desk setup. Pure redeeming feature.
Yeah, okay. Oh, Paul. The lip bite Emile Hirsch is wearing throughout this movie. It's
pretty powerful.
It's a real thing.
Palpable.
And
yes.
I just wanted to acknowledge the fact that it exists.
It exists, and it never won't do now.
That's true. You can say that for all things that have existed.
You could say that for most of the things that have existed. And Emile Hirsch is definitely one of those. And we find him running a diner.
Yeah.
And his name is Shane Danger.
Yes. And what a name.
Yeah.
Good morning, Lulu.
Good morning, Carl.
Hey, Lulu, check this out.
Are you breakdancing, Carl?
Yes, it's body popping.
Nice. No dancing. Get back to work.
What a name. What a name to have by a person.
Yeah, and that made me laugh.
And speaking of names, well, that'll make you laugh. That'll make you laugh any day of the week. And I'll tell you who else will make me laugh any day of the week is Aubrey Plaza, and she's here with her incredibly different new role. What will she do next?
I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not.
It's a startling new vision of disaffected lady.
Yes.
Shane Danger needs to lay off some staff, and he chooses his bloody Plaza wife, whose name is Lulu Danger.
Yeah. Which is French for something. And
It is.
yeah,
The third Danger.
Yeah, they work with Kooky Indie Man #1 and Kooky Indie Man #2, and they have some interactions.
They have several interactions, which I appreciate. And then she has to go home. And she's not happy sitting around watching TV all day, but oh shit, her ex, the titular Beverly Luff Linn, is now a big shot TV guy doing a one-night only show.
Crap.
She should do that. She should
Poop.
do that. Base a film around it.
Yeah. All right, then. I mean, it's better than not making the film.
Yeah,
So-
have it as a motivation that she can,
Yeah.
that can
So
motivate her actions.
So she waits around for Emile Hirsch, Shane Danger, to steal the lockbox of
Yes.
of
Her brother.
her brother.
Her brother AJ, yes.
Is that her
brother
brother?
AJ? Yes. Yes, I half caught it the first time and thought, oh, is it? And then the second time was like, yeah. The second time it gets mentioned later in the movie, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm glad to have that confirmed.
Okay,
yes,
great.
her brother
AJ.
has more money than Shane Danger.
Yes.
And he doesn't like that. He doesn't
No.
like him having the bigger money. So he
No.
takes his two remaining employees to have an awkward steal of it.
Yeah.
Are you trying to rob me, man? What the fuck is going on? Shane? Is that you? AJ! What the fuck, Shane? Are you seriously trying to rob me? No! Are you fucking crazy? Okay, now, run, go!
And it works. They run off with the money.
It works so
And
good.
It works so good. It's very seamless, all of it.
They
And
have every part of the money, and AJ has none of it. And
Jesus, I hate that.
the next thing that happens is AJ is loudly complaining about all of this, all of it, when there's a Jermaine Clement who overhears him with his new accent, sort of.
So this Shane Danger, he's got some new monies, huh?
Yes.
I'm just rolling through town, and then I hear you won the monies back from this Shane Danger. I can help you do that.
Really? I was going to talk to my cousin Poonie.
Forget Cousin Poonie. This is what I do.
So a
at
bit.
times. And yeah, but he's in the film now, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing any of you cuts can do.
Not now. It's far too late to try and change that.
So he turns up to.
Ridiculous to even try.
Oh God! But whilst the rest of you are trying, because obviously you will, because you think you can fix this, he turns up to Shane Danger and Lulu Danger's house. And Shane and his employees are jamming to John Grant's Pale Green Ghost, which is great. And
Yep, they're celebrating their successful robbery.
Yeah.
And he manages to get into the Danger House by taking advantage of how quirky it would be to let him into the Danger House.
Yeah.
You can get away with anything in an indie.
oh my
As
God!
long as you ride the quirk, you can just
Yeah.
you can just get in. You can just get in.
Yeah. And I mean they are riding the quirk on their waxed quirk boards.
Oh.
And he's even about to get a chocolate snack before it comes out that
chocolate snack.
nobody actually knows who he is. And
Nobody knows who this clown is, and it leads to a standoff, and he manages to get the cash box, but also he manages to get abducted by Lulu.
oh my God,
Leaves with both of those things in his possession.
yeah, he leaves with getting abducted by Lulu.
Yep.
Right in his pocket.
Yep.
And it's exactly the way he wanted. And they drive forever. I don't know how America works until they get to the Morehouse Hotel.
Yay! Yes, the hotel where Beverly Luff Linn is showing. And they check in, have a few interactions, but never mind that because Matt Berry is here.
Hooray!
Would you like me to keep the reservation charges under von Dongschlanger?
It's von Donkensteiger.
Is that German?
Yes. Actually, my father was a German shepherd. He looked quite like you.
You mean like the dog?
Yeah, like the woof woof.
Yay! He's Luff Linn's guy. Lynn's guy. And they
Luff Linn,
check in
it's
and
2 words.
It is 2 entirely separate words. And they check in and start getting into some scrapes with Lulu and Clement.
Oh gosh, yes they do.
They do.
And Luff Linn has a speak. He has a way of speaking.
He has a way of presenting himself in public.
Yeah.
You buckled up? Right. Let's try and find this hotel that apparently no one knows the name of.
I thought he had chronic reflux for a while.
It makes sense.
Because it's a lot of throat clearing.
It is an awful lot of throat clearing, and we have an awful lot of experience of that sort of thing.
Yes, we do. Not featured in the final edit of the episodes.
But I have composed a supercut of all of it put together for the last 5 years. And that's going to be behind the anti-Patreon. You're going to have to pay to not hear that.
Oh, great. That's coming soon, so everybody watch out for that, because you really do want to watch out for that. It's not something you want to miss.
Once I start uploading things to the anti-Patreon, it's just going to be miserable for everyone. So enjoy these precious few moments before I start doing that. And someone else who's enjoying precious few moments before discovering something horrible and revelatory is Shane Danger.
Oh my God.
Because he finds pictures of Luff Linn in his house with his Aubrey Plaza wife, and a bloody poster of him in his workhouse office diner.
Yeah.
So
who put that up? I don't know.
Who put that up? Some guy came around with it earlier. He looked like Matt Berry. So he sends one of his employees to get his wife and money, but he just ends up fucking the barmaid. You know, which is always a danger when you send someone to a hotel to do a thing for you. Saucy barfolk.
I just don't know what to say, Paul. This just goes beyond everything that I know about interactions with barmaids, and
I know,
and yeah, I love it. So
it's challenging me on every front. But yeah, things are getting tense because Clement likes Lulu, but Lulu likes Beverly, and Matt Berry also likes Beverly, but Beverly likes Lulu kind of maybe, and no one likes Shane except me. I like Shane,
except the audience. I think the audience all love Shane.
There's a lot of love going on for Shane, but it's not mutually shared by the characters, yes. Yeah, Lulu gets a letter from Beverly inviting her to the pool, but there's a bloody Matt Berry there, after drugging Beverly, and then just showing up in his stead wearing his suit and some makeup. Take that, Lulu.
Yeah. You're like a clown. Yeah. This is how you made me feel, Lulu. Like a swimming clown.
I like the idea of designing your costume around confronting someone. You show up just in a massive box. Look, you see this? Yeah, this is me in the doghouse, which is what you did to me last week at dinner. So you think about that, and then you clumsily shuffle your crap out of their office. Why were you in their office?
You turn up to somebody and say, "This is the last time you ever gaslight me. Hang on." And you just slosh petrol over yourself.
He didn't even use gas. Well, gas in like the American sense. Yeah. You get the idea. It's, anyway, you're horrifically burned.
I'm dying, yeah.
I just had to make sure you understood the visual metaphor. It was very
Using
good.
my grip on life, but yeah. Oh, thanks, mate. Thanks. Hang on a sec.
She writes a letter back to Beverly and pays the porter to deliver it discreetly, which he's definitely able to do. Everyone's very discreet in this film.
Oh, and most of all the porter, Paul.
Oh, yeah.
Most of all the porter. Yeah.
More than anyone else. And yeah, the letter just says, "Hey, what's up with your Matt Berry? How come he sucks?" And
yeah. Sup with that? Sup with that?
Yeah. Clement is being sort of rejected roundly by Lulu, so he goes and has sex with a woman called Paulette. But she charges him afterwards like a sexual worker would.
Yeah.
He immediately tells
you could.
Lulu.
If you have sex with someone and then you go, "That's going to cost you $50," like the other person is probably just going to go, "Oh shit, I'm not going to fight against this because I don't want to be seen as a skinflint."
I'm not cheap.
Yeah.
So I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, what are you going to do? It's like, "Oh, I can't pay that." All right. Well, here's your orgasm back.
I mean,
thanks.
Generally, I'll get my pimp on you. But he's busy because
he's very busy chasing down all of the the business that's required to keep you in your fine fur.
He's busy evading a man known as John Shaft.
And Dave Spikey, they're both out to get you.
Fucking hell.
Made a lot of enemies in this game.
Let it go, Dave.
It's finally catching up with you. And I think your pimp is the one paying the price for that.
Yeah. So while the pimp is paying the price and the porter pops the letter in the postbox.
It turns out that you're not the only one who's a poet around here, because Beverly also used to be a poet. Lulu tells Jermaine Clement.
Oh, I'm not down with that.
But then apparently drowned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's dead.
In her dark past.
Oh, shit. Don't go looking in there, the dark past.
After a few more sequences, the show is about to start, which was a relief to me.
The show had been postponed a few times.
A couple times. There's been a lot of build-up to this show.
There's a real waiting for Godot
teased
vibe.
Yeah. But this time, Godot's going to fucking show up and blow your socks off, because it's the night of the show. Shane Danger and his colleagues steal the lockbox from their rooms. Mm-hmm. They've got that. That's fine. But Shane Danger, he's got another plan.
Oh, God.
And Matt Berry takes to the stage with some dancing children and the aforementioned... the Afor,
yes.
What's it called when the Afor? Yes. What's it called when you're the name? It's like titular, but more fancy. Eponymous. The Afro-eponymous Beverly Luff Linn.
Yeah.
He shows up, and they perform some songs.
Those little ticks of time keep on talking, ticky, talking all the day. But those little ticks of time know no reason, no rhyme. They just tick, tock the time away.
And he performs some truths, namely that he loves Lulu.
Oh my God.
God, he still loves her and is not in love with Matt Berry. The only person on this earth.
So
he's not sexually in love with Matt Berry.
Oh, God. So this is the problem with waiting for Godot, right? Nothing ever fucking happens. And you're just there going, what was this about? I'm not going to have a thought. I just... if only Godot had shown up and sung some tunes and told us some truth.
If only.
And
that's what the vision for this one was. But oh shit, Shane Danger still kicks off anyway, in spite of all the culmination that's going on. And he's want to do that, and he has a staccato fight
read the
with
room,
everybody.
Mate. Yeah.
Well, he reads the room with their fists, because they all have a punch up. And then, Beverly and Lulu have a nice talk about their feelings and how weird those are. When Clement shows up and intervenes, forcefully intervenes into this emotional resolution.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help, and Beverly leaves, perhaps forever.
Yeah, maybe.
Or at least until a credit sequence.
Yeah, and Jermaine Clement is left alone drinking in a bar, as always, and Lulu shows up.
As is natural.
And Jermaine goes, I still love you, and Lulu goes, yeah, look, I said I didn't, but maybe we could.
Maybe.
We're getting to the end of the movie, so...
You seem all right. I've not got better options presented, so they have a bit of a bond.
Should we do a dance?
And they have a dance. Yeah. And they have a make-out. And then they go to their respective beds, and they say...
She falls asleep.
She falls asleep, and they say they love each other. And, that's pretty much the end of the movie, and it is tricky to do a funny plot rundown of a comedy.
Yeah. Depends if we'd have both felt the same about it, I suppose. But
it may have. It may have
but the end was the end of test, because she pretends to fall asleep, and he doesn't make a move. He tucks her in and goes to bed.
He's a gent. He's a
good guy.
He's a papantsed gent, and that's going to impress an Aubrey Plaza. So yeah, post-credit sequence. Mid-credit sequence.
Yeah.
Beverly Luff Linn back on the road with his Matt Berry, still partners.
His Matthew LeBerry
in filth. They're gonna keep on trucking to the next adventure, a sequel to Beverly Luff Linn.
Dave Spikey's Beverly Luff Linn, 1,000 chops more.
1,000 chops more. And that's a mighty big claim for the poster, but he delivers. He more than delivers. So
he delivers. Look out, local A&E ward.
Oh, Christ. All right, let's get into it, friend. What did you think about this movie here?
Oh, I didn't get on with it, mate.
No!
Yeah, oh, gosh. I do have a really long quickfire list, because there are loads of little bits in there that I liked, and a couple of very funny moments. I just couldn't get over the feeling that it was trying so hard to be weird. And that sounds like that's a shitty thing to say, but that's how it felt. And it was like my main issue was that, plus the really heavy lampshading of jokes.
Now and then, I only had a couple of jokes I found to be lampshaded to the point of irritation. But I did make
Okay.
a note of a couple of those. It made a lot of sense to me when I found out the director was British. Because it has
Yes.
some of that Vic and Bob energy, only specifically the sort of story-based sketches they used to do. Like, do you remember Kinky John in The Club? Like, the recurring bit, and I think it was Bang Bang, it's Reeves and Mortimer, where they were running a nightclub. And it was like, when you force that humor into, like, a story kind of thing. And then I realized this is the director of The Greasy Strangler.
Yeah.
And it all kind of slotted together because it has the same feeling of being deliberately off-putting, the sort of Harmony Korine, John Waters energy. And some of it is how I imagine Adam Sandler thinks his extras are working in his movies. Like when they show up in terrible looking terrible and saying awkward things. And weirdly, it took me a while to realize that I actually really liked it.
Okay.
Like, it was a really slow release. I watched most of the movie being vaguely irritated, and then near the end, I was interested watching it. I was interested in where we were going. I wanted to know what the deal was with Beverly Luff Linn, because this mystery, he's supposed to be dead, and he obviously has a past with Aubrey Plaza, and I was curious. And I was very curious as to what the show was going to be like.
Okay.
And along the way, I quite liked the strangeness and the awkwardness. I liked the big-name central performances and the eccentric extras, and I enjoyed, generally speaking, the style of the film, the look of the hotel, and the repetitive music.
Okay.
I found it had a lot of atmosphere. Then the actual show happens, and I actually watched most of it with Jack, who was also very curious as to what the show would actually be after all this build-up. And then it happens, and it's the two of them in sparkly Scottish clothes, sincerely performing Scottish folk songs.
Yes.
And that made us laugh a lot.
Yes.
That was a very good reveal for us.
I appreciated
and
that.
That's probably what led me to reassess and then watch the movie again the following day.
Okay.
I have seen it twice, and I enjoyed the second time a lot better. The nuances of the awkwardness, I got into the characters a bit more, and although the gags are still definitely hit and miss, and it's nowhere near as riotously funny or weird as The Greasy Strangler, I like this as kind of like the subdued, quieter, slightly more commercially, well, apparently not, but it feels the slightly more commercially viable Jim Hoskins film.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see how you wouldn't get on with it. As for it being like weird on purpose, it felt fairly sincere because have you seen The Greasy Strangler?
No, I've been meaning to.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it when it came out in like 2016, I think. It's been a little while. I really liked it, and as a result, because that movie felt more authentic, perhaps because of the lack of big names. The guy in the restaurant with the curly hair, the guy in the diner, rather, one of his employees.
Oh, yeah.
The one who wasn't the hairy guy. That's the lead from The Greasy Strangler, along with another guy who's fucking amazing, Michael St. Michael, or whatever his name is.
Well, the tall white guy or the shorter black guy?
The tall white guy.
Okay, because they both had curly hair, and I was confused for a second.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, they all have very similar hair. Yeah, The Greasy Strangler is more overt and out there. It has lots of really striking and startling images and leans more heavily into the sort of gross out, let's, turn them off kind of feel to it.
Okay.
I mean, the fact that the dad character, this old man, spends so much of the runtime naked with this horrible, horrible prosthetic cock that's just the worst thing you've ever seen in your fucking life, and does look like a Reeves and Mortimer prop.
Oh, God.
It really, it makes it more overtly surreal, and it feels more natural. Having name talent in here, big name actors, comedic actors, it makes it maybe feel a bit more contrived. Like this is like if a mainstream Neil Breen film.
Yeah. It feels very. It feels a lot more knowing, I think. And I'm being nudged, whereas like Greasy Strangler sounds way more like something I could get into, because it sounds like it's more of a jam feel, whereas I feel like this had similarities in the the discordant music and the pauses and just a general feeling of unease, but didn't have the same kind of spark for me, and I think I think you're onto something with the name performances, because I didn't really get on with Aubrey Plaza in this. She felt kind of out of place, and it was reminding me of whilst I haven't seen much of Aubrey Plaza in a main role. Obviously, Ingrid Goes West was awesome.
Oh yeah,
she's
really good,
so good in that. But this gave me the same sort of awkward feeling that I got from her in Scott Pilgrim. I wasn't a huge fan of her character in that either.
Black Bear was very good with Aubrey Plaza.
Okay. I was told about this. Were we mentioned?
Yeah.
Was it yesterday?
And she can be very natural in her sort of, because when she presents herself in public, she does have a very odd sense of humor.
Okay.
Which is quite fun. Here, yes, it does feel like she's conforming to a style, and it maybe doesn't quite suit her, but I still got more out of her the second time because it much more resonated with me, the idea that this is, because the first time I saw it, I was just like, okay, she is sexually attracted to Greg Robinson, and she's just like, that's where all of her energy is directed, is towards Beverly Luff Linn. And that's what this is. It's about, her obviously being attracted to this very large, big character.
Yeah.
And the second time, knowing their history and knowing that actually she's grieving for a lost love this whole time. And the scene in the pool where he's like angrily attacking the pool and like screaming as he swims isn't a showing off of his prowess. It's a bizarre recreation of the circumstances of his death.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And little things like that really helped me to sort of get on board with her the second time round.
Yeah.
Seeing as we're doing all right for runtime, and then this will be an easy edit, shall I quickly show you the trailer for the Greasy Strangler?
Yeah, go for it. What's your? I'm sure you've been loading it this whole time, but whilst you're just sharing the screen, I can see how a second watch would help with that kind of thing, and I guess what you need then, gross. What you need then is enough from the first runtime to make me want to watch it a second time.
Yes,
and that's where the sense of humor
is
the clincher.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I ended up feeling that sort of motivation because I didn't do it arbitrarily. It was like, I don't know. It just I started running it again. Yeah. I didn't just do it because this week I have time to rewatch. I usually don't, but I will. I definitely didn't. I squeezed in my second rewatch around other things I was doing.
Yeah, right.
This week, but still felt inclined to do so, which is interesting. And part of it was just I wanted to re-experience the atmosphere, like you say, the discordant music, the interiors, the way that shots are designed and sequences play at this really subdued length. It drew me in a way that I quite like. It's kind of Lynchian in that respect.
That's good.
Anywho, let's have a look at this trailer for 2016's The Greasy Strangler. So
yeah, that looks much better. Wait. There's something about Ben Wheatley in the credits there.
Wait. Oh my god, executive producer Ben Wheatley.
Well, there you fucking go. Oh fuck.
Fantastic. That
I remember
makes sense.
Jem Newlin mentioned this to me, actually, The Greasy Strangler. So that's two people now. And also,
oh my god,
just the trailer there did look great. It looked like there was.
I really recommend it.
The emotion felt realer as well.
Yes, it did. It's a weirdly fucked up story about a father and son.
Yeah.
Trying to connect with each other. And it's because obviously that the father is this bizarre figure who also just has this deep need to not be made redundant in his son's life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it plays out with this gorgeous pacing and these ridiculous interactions with each other. I would say it's more successful. I would definitely say The Greasy Strangler was more successful, but it was interesting to see that go mainstream, which is what this kind of felt like. To see this subdued, dialed down, and sort of put into something that feels a bit more stately in some bizarre way. In a way that I did find myself enjoying, but can see that, I don't know, that maybe I had a little extra. I had the benefit of the doubt in my head in knowing that this guy was funny. And so even when jokes were landing flat, I kind of, I could see what the joke was and that sort of thing. I can see the difference in perspective there.
Yeah.
And I will say, yes, there are more jokes that didn't work in this than in Greasy Strangler.
Having said that, there are a lot of jokes that did work, or a lot of little things that did work, so...
Let's quick fire.
Yeah, cool.
Quick fire. I really like the title card with music, because the music I think is very good.
Yes.
I really like the music, and I really enjoyed the contrast with the dino, with the off-putting and surreal and very ominous music.
Yeah. All the way through. I mean, I was getting real jam vibes.
Oh yeah. Love those jam vibes.
Yeah, it was nice and jammy, and yeah, it did just spark that feeling of unease through most of it.
Yeah.
Which I'm all for. I like the opening. The visuals of the the credits, and yeah, it was just nice. Is blocking the right word? I feel like blocking is the right word.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, well, it depends what you're referring to, but if you're referring to the way in which the sort of mise en scene is constructed and where the characters are located, then yeah, it's blocking.
No, I'm talking about the text at the beginning, like where it's all, the way it's all framed.
Like the kerning?
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay, I'm gonna say
love
yes.
the kerning.
So now we've both said yes, and that's all you can ask.
That's legally binding.
Speaking of that intro, I really enjoyed one of the employees. Like, I think Shane Danger comes out and asks one of the employees, "What is that?" And he's like,
What blend is that bag?
Winter? Oh, shit. Sorry, Shane.
Please, pay better attention.
It's just, we never had a midwinter blend before, and it's like, why and who cares?
Yeah.
That was the first bit that really made me laugh.
Nice. The first laugh I got actually was just seeing the name tag that said Shane Danger on it. I was like, oh,
Excellent.
fuck, yes.
It's a great name.
Yeah, it is. The second laugh was when the HR guy turns up and asks, is it Tyrone to go and get the manager or Carl? No, it's Carl. He asks Carl to go and get the manager. Okay. And he goes, and the door swings in, it swings out, and Emile Hirsch walks out immediately.
That's good. Yeah. I didn't notice that. Fuck, that's really good.
That was good.
Actually, my next one is right before that, because that guy is Sky Elibar, the guy who is in The Greasy Strangler.
Yeah.
And I love his voice a lot. I did also enjoy the awkward bit where the health inspector comes in and traps Aubrey Plaza against the bar. Just say, excuse me, and it's just like pressing her against the bar as he's doing so.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that and how much time was devoted to that. But I love Sky Elibar's voice. And in particular when he's like,
Here you go, sir. One large cappuccino.
Thank you. Is Mr. Danger here?
Yeah, hang on a second.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know, just the over-performance of it in such a laissez-faire way was...
Yes.
Over-performance and laissez-faire, if that makes sense. Like, those two things do...
It does to me.
It's there.
The monotone man.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's awkward and doesn't work.
Maybe that's why I didn't like it. Severe self-loathing. So,
fucking mirror, mate.
Jesus. My dad was the Greasy Strangler. But the dad in that is also the DJ in this, right?
Oh, no, he wasn't. He looks super like him, but weirdly enough, the main guy from The Greasy Strangler does not appear. The dad in The Greasy Strangler seemingly does not appear in An Evening with Beverly Luff Linn. I was very surprised.
Well, I enjoyed that old guy's anti-comedy cough.
Yeah.
Well, that was the first anti-comedy cough of the movie.
Yeah. Yes, there are two.
And the second one is better, actually, because the second one... The first one I noted, and the second one actually made me laugh, because the second one is Tyrone's mum, sorry. And it's very obviously a guy with a mustache playing the mum. And he's asked a question, and he coughs in response. And it is pure anti-comedy. It goes on for a very long time, and the bit where it really comes back around is when he's doing exaggerated, silly coughs, and it really did make me laugh. and for a film, I will say, usually when I'm not laughing throughout a comedy, I'm usually in that dead zone where even a funny joke won't bring me out of it. It takes something like Shaq rolling across a cop car and denting the bonnet, or this, or one other moment which I'll get to in a while. So. It was impressive for its funniness.
Yeah. I enjoyed that the dinner is just a giant burnt meatball on top of a pile of spaghetti.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the grimness of that. He's very good at rendering grimness, is this director.
Yes. Jermaine Clement's entrance and general presence.
In the laundromat.
Yeah. But his general presence throughout the movie was great. Thank Christ for him, because he was probably my highlight.
Great.
He was able to turn every single line into something amazing.
Yeah.
And
he was very good.
Yeah, he was very, very good. I will think of, for now, just, I think, does he have the line, the male penis? No, that's Tyrone, so I'll mention that later.
That is, yeah.
It's when they're talking about the name Beverly, and he keeps going, that's a woman's name.
Beverly's a woman's name.
No, I don't think so.
It is. It's a Scottish woman's name.
Beverly is a man's name.
It's a very feminine name.
The Scottish woman's name really made me laugh.
Yeah. Excellent. Speaking of Tyrone, when Shane Danger is sort of talking about how the next person who could be fired, it could be you, and he points at Tyrone, and he makes a really good sort of oh shit kind of face,
Yeah.
which he does do for most of the movie.
Yeah.
He just permanently sort of looks sort of appalled at what's going on.
Yeah.
And I find that very amusing.
Excellent. So yeah, I did like his confirmation of the male penis. But when Shane and crew, they're celebrating their heist and they're dancing. It is to John Grant's Pale Green Ghost, which is not a party tune. It's a fucking beautiful, brooding beginning to an incredible album, and just a lovely weird choice.
I love that pan. I love that Jermaine Clement sort of rushes up to the window, and then there's a pan to a very, very large window, and them very well illuminated inside during their dancing.
Yes.
And there's a callback to what's his name, to Sky Elabar's body popping, which is this incredibly awkward sort of bird-like motion.
Oh yeah.
It was a fun sort of ensemble shot to sort of cut to.
Yeah, nice.
I really enjoyed the portrait of an industrial estate over their bed. It was suitably grim. I think they've got it over Shane Danger's bed, and it's just this beautiful rendering of just some sort of factory, and that was good.
Excellent. A good amount of detail here.
Yeah.
Paul, I was wondering, do you have anything to say on crinkle cut fries?
We're getting to it.
Okay, cool. Phew.
It's my next one. In fact, I could jump to it now. If you like.
Let's do it.
Good looking burger. I review all the burgers that feature in our films. At some point, I'd love to put together an OGT menu. Paul's Burger Zone. Good looking burger, crinkle cut fries. The bun is a bit rubbish on Aubrey Plaza's one. It looked a bit crumpled.
Everything looks a bit soft. Folded. She looked like she was biting into a very soft burger.
It looked like a very soft burger, but it was a very tidy burger, and you know I'm all about that.
Oh yeah.
I will say, though, the cheesy onion rings looked fucking horrific, like the sort of thing you would eat and then just get a headache as a result of it.
Yeah. Almost like it was intentionally so.
Yeah, I think so. It was frightening.
Yeah. It was a frightening thing and a frightening man to tackle it. When Jermaine Clement and Aubrey Plaza show up at the Morehouse Hotel, and Jermaine Clement says, "I'd like a room," the look of disgust and pure hassle on the concierge's face before he pulls out a quill is great.
Yeah.
I generally didn't like him because I thought he over-egged everything. But it was a shame because he was, I could kind of see what he was doing, and I could appreciate some of it academically, especially a few hand movements whilst he was explaining stuff, but there was just something about it that didn't work for me. However, this flash of just white hot hate before he fills out the book was great.
Sometimes it was a bit too much, but I liked quite a few of his moments, and one of them actually is my next thing, which is the very sort of really burying the lead in or sort of burying the punchline here of just
oh, looky here, it looks like you're unlucky.
And just the lucky is so murmured that you almost don't catch that he's done that, but I enjoyed that.
Nice.
And just generally, I'd like to say, quite like the hotel. I thought it was a nice hotel in terms of its interiors and its design and its layout. But also a weird detail. There were clocks behind the reception showing the time in Glasgow, Edinburgh, and Aberdeen, and they were all the same time.
That is good. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I really do. Okay. Poo nuts. Poo nuts is great.
The poo nuts.
He asks for the change of nuts and then just goes, poo nuts.
You know, those might have poo on them. You don't want to get poo in your mouth, do you?
Oh, no. No, we're not eating these poo nuts.
Yeah, and I enjoyed the really lazy kind of shitty way in which he just sort of puts it behind his back and then brings it back again. Just the laziest kind of facade I enjoyed. Yeah. I quite enjoy Beverly's outfits in general, the sort of ridiculous golfing clothes that he's put in. I thought, it was good, and it really suited Craig Robinson's sort of ridiculous performance of the role.
Cool. When they are, I think it's the same scene as the legendary Poo Nuts line, when they're in the bar.
Now legendary.
And thanks to me. They're talking about Beverly, and Jermaine Clement has this line.
Here comes Mr. Beverly. He makes you nervous, doesn't he? And he's with his bearded friend and they're coming this way.
Yeah. Again, it'd be better if you... Because I was going to go into trying to do an impression of Jermaine Clement, and it wasn't going to work. Not for a full sentence. So maybe if you could sample that one, it's great, because the timing of it...
I'll sample that one.
Nothing else. But
nothing else.
You owe me this one.
That'll be the sample of this episode.
Sample of the episode.
Fuck yeah. We're keeping pace with each other. I love that jingle. We're keeping pace for each other here because mine is from the subsequent scene, which is most of Robinson's sort of. I didn't find too many of them amusing, but there were a couple that I did, and one of them is after we've established him growling a fair bit. And there's still a fair amount of tension as to who this guy is. You know, is he a safe presence? Is he a dangerous presence? What's he going to do? And I'm still on edge because I know how capable this guy is of profound and somewhat affecting violence from the Greasy Strangler. Matt Berry and Jermaine Clement are talking, and whilst they're talking, Robinson and Plaza are like reaching out for each other across the table.
Oh, yeah.
And then suddenly Matt Berry cuts that off with, are you going to put an earring back in that hole? And there's a beat, and then Craig Robinson leans in and says,
You're going to put an earring back in that hole?
Yeah.
And that was nice and confrontational. I quite enjoyed that. And I think the other time his noise amused me was after the first song, where he's revealed himself as being capable of singing. And then there's a round of applause, quiet sets in, and we cut back to him, and he once again goes,
Yeah.
That was good.
I actually liked the explanation for that.
Yes, that was great. That was a great little reveal. That is stage fright.
Yeah, which would inform a second viewing quite nicely, I think.
Yeah.
Rather, it would help me understand it as something other than just weirdness. Which would be useful. Yeah. I think my biggest laugh from this movie, which unfortunately was then not lampshaded, but unfortunately they ruined it by doing it again. But the laugh stands. They're when Emile Hirsch is talking to Tyrone and telling him that his plan, they're going to go to the Morehouse Hotel and confront Lulu. He gets closer and closer to Tyrone, like straddles him and then like puts his forehead against his, and he keeps saying immediately, and Tyrone repeats immediately.
Immediately. We need to go to the hotel. Immediately. To see if she's there.
Yes, we do, Shane. We need to go to the hotel immediately to see if she's there.
Immediately.
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 And immediately. And then it cuts to them in the car doing the exact same.
Yeah,
and it's
doing the same thing.
Fucking great. It really made me laugh. But then they cut back to them at the house, and I went...
that was odd. That was odd to do that. But yeah, I really enjoyed the car cut too. That's one of mine as well. It's very good. Okay, a little moment where they catch up with Matt Berry in the foyer, and he's carrying some weird liquid, and they're asking him, is he okay? And he's saying, he's pretty under the weather, and they're like, is he dead? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. And just the way Matt Berry delivers that was very amusing.
Yeah, Matt Berry has, I think him and Jermaine Clement had the most success, had the best hit rate for delivering the lines, I think. The two of them were just unreal.
Yeah, Berry felt very natural doing it. Like he wasn't trying to fit into this movie. He was just saying the lines, and I really enjoyed that. Do I have one more of his later on? It's
I must have something.
There it is. Yes,
more of his.
It's when a guy comes up to him and introduces himself as Mitch, and it's like another one of these bizarre-looking human beings.
Mitch Stamp, events coordinator.
Nice to meet you, Mitch.
Really enjoyed that. He seems so sincere. He's such a good PR guy.
Oh, fuck, he's just great in general. He's my PR guy. Doesn't even know me.
Oh my god.
I know.
And he's so far resisted the wrath of Dave Spikey, and that's...
Yeah. He resisted the chop, he resisted the spiky.
Yeah.
Me likey.
Do you suppose this... Is this the most anyone's spoken about Dave Spikey in the last 20 years, I wonder?
Maybe. Not even sure I know who Dave Spikey is.
He was in a lot of Peter Kay stuff, and he was a stand-up in his own right. I think I had a DVD of his.
Yes, I know Dave Spikey now. Great. So,
right.
This film, when Jermaine Clement is rejected, and he sort of gets up and he goes, "I'm going to go feast on snacks," and then he does a fist pump and a power stance, and that was wonderful.
Yeah, that was very good. I like the music when Shane confronts Lulu in the lobby. There's this sort of very intense kind of music going on as he's thrown out, which I enjoyed.
Let go of me.
Is he still alive? Because I heard he was dead.
Get off of me. Security! This man is accosting me! Security! Security!
Yeah, that's good. When Aubrey Plaza jumps onto Jermaine Clement, she displays excellent athletic prowess, Paul. It was It's something very likeable about the leap, and it was very satisfying that the mega cup that Jermaine Clement had brought into the room didn't topple. It was sat on the bed, and when he sits down in it, it almost doesn't. And then when she jumps onto him, it almost doesn't. And it was very gratifying for me.
That's good stuff. I really enjoyed Aubrey Plaza's face whilst Jermaine Clement is telling his story, his poop story, about how his grandmother would award him for having produced poops with a certain number of candies. She has a really great sort of moving performance of moving between disgust, boredom, and trying to feign interest and enthusiasm for him, which I thought was very nuanced.
I really appreciated that entire monologue that starts with the mystery of Colin is deepening. Go deeper if you dare. And then just many lines in that monologue talking about the sweets. They're a real treat to be had. And I didn't like to do poo-poos inside.
Yeah, and his urging to her of just sort of, and that's not how we want kids to learn to do poo-poos, is it? And then just waiting for her to respond, which she's very reluctant to do so. Like she's been pulled out of a great novel to react to this guy.
Yeah,
or to acknowledge that she has some form of approval with the story continuing.
Yeah, that whole scene was great, and I think that's the scene that ends with Jermaine Clement's declaration of love to Lulu. It is. And it's it begins with the line, "Now, Lulu, I may be a great deal younger than you." Yeah,
that's my next one. It's very good. And her reaction to that again of just, very good. I thought they had good chemistry together. I did quite enjoy the way they bounced off each other.
Yes, I think I preferred Aubrey Plaza when she was with Jermaine Clement to Shane Danger. Maybe the two of them were
sucking the oxygen. He's taking up all the attention and energy in the fucking room. How do you play off of him?
True.
Yeah,
that's true.
When they retire back to his bedroom, Jermaine Clement busies himself and tries to look casual with a magazine titled Horse Fun.
Yeah.
Gotta like that.
That's very good. He does a good thigh stroke in that scene as well. That's what's very alluring.
Yeah.
When Jermaine Clement and Aubrey Plaza are heading back to their hotel room, and the porter pops up with a
proposition.
A proposition peddled by the prestigious Beverly Luff Linn. Puffpin.
Puffpin.
The porter hands it over, and Lulu says thank you and then slaps him.
Yeah.
And it was a nice spoofy sort of exchange that I really liked.
That is good.
Very silly.
There's a reveal somewhere in there that the piano is actually diegetic, and I can't remember what it is. Two people are having a conversation. It's very serious and it's very dramatic, and there's this piano music, and then it stops, and someone clicks off a player indicating that the music was actually playing out loud and it wasn't just part of the movie. I can't remember where it is, but it was funny.
Yeah, I think it was Jermaine Clement and Aubrey Plaza scene.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I wasn't really liking that.
Yeah. But anyway, more on Jermaine Clement. Him undressing, him slapping his cock to try and wake it up. Lovely little moments.
Yep. Quite a moment. Yeah.
And my last Jermaine Clement thing is that after sleeping with the prostitute, and he goes, "I was a virgin, now I'm not."
Yeah. That's so sad.
Yeah.
Such a tragic little moment. I really like Craig Robinson on the exercise machine.
Yes.
I really enjoyed that a lot. It's his noises, but also the nature of the machine that's just sort of swinging both of his legs forwards and backwards in a way that's not exercising anything at all, really. But just, it was very funny. The motion of it was really great. I enjoyed that a lot.
He's probably exercising something.
Maybe his shoulders, because he's holding onto the
stability
thing, and he's he's propelling himself.
Yeah.
Maybe it's your core. I don't know, but I really enjoyed it. It was a very funny visual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt Berry does when he's drugging Craig Robinson, I think. Their song comes on the radio and he has this is our song. But he does this lovely little shuffle to it in place whilst he's acknowledging it. And it was a gorgeous little shuffle. Love that shuffling boy.
Love that.
Shuffling Berry.
Speaking of Berry, I really enjoyed his speech to Beverly where he talks about how much he means to him. It's a nice little sincere moment there, and I thought Berry played it really well.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
I only have one last thing, Paul, before the Shane Jane.
Before the Shane Jameson.
The Shane Danger. I have one last thing before the Shane Danger experience. And it's just Craig Robinson's singing voice. It was wonderful. It's very delightful.
Jesus. Yeah. Oh my God. Why Did I Become a Football Referee was the moment, the moment of the film for us. And
This next song is about the ocean and what it means to be alone. Specifically in Aberdeenshire.
it was absolutely incredible. The whole performance there, I just absolutely loved. Yeah, I really liked that. And I really liked the dancing that Jermaine Clement and Aubrey Plaza get up to when they're in their sort of big bonding moment. It was... I've got a real thing for sort of attractive people dancing badly. It really entertains me and I enjoy it a lot. And just seeing them both sort of contorting themselves and swinging from side to side with a lot of hip movement and hands. Lots of hands going on and arms. And it was just... Yeah. I really enjoyed it a lot.
Is where Aubrey Plaza was probably most charming.
Yeah, it was very endearing. Yeah. I also enjoy in the post-credit thing of Matt Berry sort of, help, we've got a deaf in here! I really enjoyed Lulu's cardigan that I think she wears on the second day. It's like grey with yellow stripes and sort of splotches. Yeah. I thought that was very nice. And that brings us to the Emile Hirsch experience. I really liked him. Straight away, he's giving it a lot. He's really going over the top with it, but... Yeah, it really he did it very well in a way that was very entertaining and magnetic to watch.
Yes, yeah. From the beginning, there was something about it. I found it didn't always work, but for the most part, like I just had to admit that both had to just admit that he was giving it both barrels, and it was he was really Willem Dafoeing it, you know. But it's like just these lovely little lip bites constantly. Yeah. And this intensity that he brought to it when he's when they're getting ready for bed, or like at dinner, I think.
I wonder if you're about to say my first one too.
Oh, maybe. It's
go for it.
I can't remember the line at dinner, but he forgets what he was going to say, and then Aubrey Plaza's brushing her teeth, and you just hear, "Oh yeah, I remember," and it pans left to him in Budgie Smugglers.
Yeah,
and
it's very good.
And he gets it real close to her, and puts a foot on the fucking. The sink and starts humping her from behind, and it's just it's a real experience.
It is. I enjoyed his after that she leaves and turns the light off, and the second she turns the light off, he may even preempt it a minute. He says,
"Thanks, sweetie. Now I have to find my way to bed in the dark."
Enjoyed the lameness of it, the ridiculousness of it, and the delivery. Okay. How come he's got more money than I? Than I. I don't think he says an I.
He saves.
So do fucking I.
Expression of that. And then, yes, one that was lampshaded, I feel, was him saying, I have to take a shit. Can you guys man the shop for 25 minutes? And I enjoy that. I enjoy giving that specific a time, that length of time. But then, he leaves, and our guy says, Who takes a shit for 25 minutes? And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, part of... I'm almost willing to go along with that, though, just because in a weird meta-humor way, it's like the guy is so rubbish he can't even go along with the joke of the movie. But that's going a bit too far with it.
That's great. I've just remembered the other main lampshade thing. Sorry, this kind of interrupts. But, there was a line when they are, I think Aubrey Plaza maybe they're booking a room in this hotel, and I think she says, "I want two twins beds." And and I wish they'd have just left it at that, because then do a big thing of, is it twins beds or twins bed or initially the two twins beds is great.
Two twins beds is good. Yeah, that is good. I enjoyed him yelling, "Ow, my fucking ear, you fat fuck!" when he's being taken out of the hotel. And earlier than that is him. Yeah, his wife drives off with the money, and I think one of his stooges sort of says,
"She's gone, Shane, and she's taking the fucking money!"
Oh, really, Tyrone? Because I wasn't here. Tell me what else fucking happened!
It was the structure of that sentence. Tell me what else fucking happened.
Yeah.
That got me going.
Got your juices going.
It got me rock hard, mate.
Fucking
and
hell.
I have been ever since, and will be forevermore.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can see it,
brilliant.
actually. But I'll tell you what I'll be hard for forevermore. It's the OG team. What are they
oh
all
my
about?
God, mate.
Oh.
Hard as a fucking rock.
Hard as maths, mate.
Oh, fucking hell. I tell you what, mate, that boner, pure math.
Pure
Fibonacci. So, going over to Patreon, Liam Joyce said, I loved this.
Oh, look, who's this guy now?
Yeah, I really expected to not enjoy it, thinking it would be too quirky, but the surface artifice just belied this real warmth towards its characters, and it feels like a bizarro world Douglas Sirk melodrama.
You know what? That's a good. I read a review out there. It was one of the public reviews, and it just says something like, at least Wes Anderson has affection towards his characters. But I was like, I definitely feel affection towards this weird cadre of weirdos. Like, you know, whether or not he effectively managed to bring the comedy out of them is, up for debate, but he definitely, I think, really likes the guys he's working with and gives each of them the chance to be funny.
I think so. Well, thank you for that, Liam.
Yeah!
Going over to Meta now. Jennifer Sohns. Jennifer Sohns, superfan Jenny Sohns.
Jennifer Sohns!
Brat,
Sorry, one of my thirsts towards Meta might have collided with the Jennifer Sohns reception.
That's quite... fuck off. Thanks for recommending Jenny Sohns.
Woo!
Thanks for recommending the person Jennifer Sohns.
Thanks for recommending Jenny Sohns to his world.
A chance. She says, I was interested in this film from the time I learned it was being filmed in Humboldt, California. The Pacific Northwest is ripe for strange filmmaking, and Luff Linn does not disappoint. The wonderful Lynchian disjointed world never fails to delight upon rewatches. My 2 cents, this is some sort of post-apocalyptic world, and this community is holding on to ersatz normality. Performance matters more than anything, and that is why the strangely aged crowd is clamouring for the outsider to put on a show. Nothing is quite right, though, exemplified by the not very good cappuccino at Shane's coffee shop.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't... Yeah, it doesn't make a difference how much effort he puts into displays. Corporate will still make him downsize. From the poo nuts at the bar to Colin's story about getting candy for using the toilet to Shane Danger's fan favourite brown drinks, there are so many references to coprophagia. Also, the fact that Ajay choked on too much breast milk is another sign that this world is not safe. The grains of paradise may be the safest thing to eat.
Oh my God.
Everyone is so superbly weird in this film that it's hard to choose a favourite. Matt Berry shines, and his scene with Maria Bamford is awesome. Craig Robinson's animal-like swimming and zombie grunting are frightening the first time you see it, but Lulu Danger herself, Aubrey Plaza, striking out and trying to shape her life in this strange world may be the top for me.
Excellent.
Add in a puppy dog like Jermaine, and the exuberant dance at the end may just be triumphant. Thanks for taking my strange little recommendation. I hope you had fun.
Oh, that's excellent. What a poetic contribution there.
Yeah. More effort than we ever put in.
There's some really interesting angles on this in there. That's really great. And yeah, you're right. It does. Yes, it's interesting. The sort of it is Lynchian in its own way, and as much as this does feel like its own self-contained world with its own kind of fucked up logic, and yeah, it is very immersive. It's something that I really did enjoy coming back to a second time.
Yeah. Okay, Kim. On Twitter, hey Kim, said, wait, I've never heard of this movie, but on the strength of Aubrey Plaza, Jermaine Clement, and Matt fucking Berry alone, I find it difficult to believe this could be anything but fantastic.
It's good to use his full name. I do hope that some people have been inclined, based on our discussion and based on some of the sampling I've done, to check this one out, because I really enjoyed it. I think it's gonna be divisive. It's by necessity. It's a very unusual form of comedy, very unapologetic in that sense, and it's gonna have sort of mixed results for people. But I would really love it if more people gave it a go to see which side of the fence they end up finding their nuts on.
Yeah, worth a watch for that reason.
Definitely for that reason.
Definitely for that, at least that reason, not only that reason.
At very least.
But also only that reason. Do you have a one better thing, Paul? Because you really like this.
I did really like it. I will have the Greasy Strangler as my one better thing. I didn't say that.
The one better thing.
Thanks, OG team.
Oh yeah, thanks, OG team. Legends.
Thanks, OG team. Amazing. You're the real Greasy Stranglers. But Greasy Strangler is fantastic. It's one of the best sort of cult, very obviously cult movies without feeling like it was deliberately made to be a cult movie. That I've seen in a long time. Yeah. And if you didn't get a chance to see it, then I highly recommend it.
Then great, I'll go watch that. Yeah, I didn't have a one better thing, because I was thinking, Greener Grass had surrealism really well, but I recommended that a couple of times now, and I genuinely just couldn't think of something else that fit the bill other than watching, you should watch Jam, because it's amazing. So I think the Greasy Strangler, as a recommendation to me, will just fill the gap, I think.
I think so. Do you know what's a weird one that occurred to me is this movie came out around about the same time as Bad Times at El Royale.
Yes.
And both involve a bunch of weirdos gathering together in a hotel or motel. And yeah, those two got weirdly connected in my head as a result.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a bizarre double bill for you there.
Why not?
Why not?
On this weekend, next weekend, go get bizarre.
Biz Ahmed.
The one better thing.
Paul, how can people find out about Biz Ahmed, our new stage name?
Biz Ahmed. When I say Biz, you say Ahmed. Biz.
Ahmed.
Brilliant. So, you can find more of that chemistry on Twitter and Facebook at OGT Pod. You can send us an email at ogtpod@gmail.com.
Do that.
Go on. We have a Patreon where the Ahmed to my Biz is happening every week, and you can get exclusive access to this fucking content for as little as $1 a month.
Only you can.
No
one else.
But everyone else, Paul Hawkins, thanks to our newest patron.
Woo!
We have begun the journey to the next stretch goal, which we haven't ordered yet, but they will be ordered very soon and online for everybody to see. We're recording our one-shot fiasco this weekend as well, so that's going to be there very, very soon. I'm very excited. My mic's going to work this time, so we've had some practice.
Oh, that'll be good.
Speaking of practice, our new TTRPG podcast, Quest Fantastic, is a thing.
It's a thing.
D&D story.
It's the only thing.
It's the only thing you need to know. That and which way, which side of the road to be looking on and driving on.
Yeah.
3 things.
And which
3
way
things.
to butter your toast.
Which, for the love of God, don't do it upside down, because that's when 11 will take you. I haven't seen Stranger Things in a while.
I butter it on the best side. The inside.
Thin bread as well. How does he do it? And more questions like that and more are answered on our Patreon and also Quest Fantastic. So, yeah.
Yes.
Bye.
I'm Paul Fantastic. I think I've said that before.
You definitely did. I'm the look of pure disgust and hassle on a concierge's face when Jermaine Clement wants a room from me.
And remember, the one good thing about an evening with Beverly Luff Linn is the thing Goodman said just there.
Yeah, nice. Fuck yeah.